How's it going, everyone? It is time for me to talk about one of my most anticipated game releases of the year when Trails in the Sky First Chapter was officially unveiled and I initially started talking about the game. I told you guys that are regulars to this channel that get ready for an onslaught of glazing for this game and me perpetually talking about how I needed everybody under the sun to buy this game. Now, realistically, not everybody under the sun is going to be into a relatively niche JRPG franchise. However, if you're remotely into Japanese RPGs, this is a game that I really wanted people to be aware about. And now we're only a little over a week away until the release of the game. And you know what? If any of you regulars that have been watching this channel for a while, and you guys, I've done you guys a solid with the deals videos, and you've saved a lot of money, so on and so forth, and you want to return the favor to me and do me a solid, the biggest solid you can do me right now, I'm not going to ask you to sign up for my Patreon right now, I'm not going to ask for donations or anything like that. All I ask for is for you to buy Trails in the Sky First Chapter, because this is a ground-up remake to the very first game, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, that kicks off an absolutely epic saga of Japanese RPGs, and that has always been the fundamental issue of getting people into Legend of Heroes. Whenever you talk to somebody that wants to get into the series, the question comes up, what game do I start with? Well, you know, most people would recommend you to start off with Trails in the Sky, but prior to this remake, Trails in the Sky was initially a PlayStation portable game, had dated mechanics, older visuals. I can go on and on about how difficult it would be to get into that game. So generally speaking, I would recommend people, back in 2019, I was saying, you know, you could play Cold Steel 1 because that starts the Cold Steel saga, and then when Trails Through Daybreak came out, I was just saying, yo, go pick up Trails Through Daybreak. It starts the Calvard arc and you can enjoy the game, new cast of characters, but you always knew that the ideal world would be for people to pick up Trails in the Sky, but mechanically, visually, it was a problem. Well, that changes now. That question is being put to bed, because if you want to get into the Legend of Heroes franchise, we have the definitive answer to that question. What game do you start with? You start with Trails in the Sky First Chapter, a ground-up remake of the very first game of this saga, the first game of the Sky Trilogy, which is the first trilogy in this overarching saga of epic Japanese RPGs. It has all of the quality of life improvements, the better visuals. It's coming to mostly every major platform. I'm sorry, Xbox, you're kind of out of luck here, but it's coming to mostly every major platform: PlayStation, Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, PC, and on top of that, if what I say, my badgering in this video, doesn't sell you, there is a free demo that is available right now. The progress you make in the demo carries on over into the full game. Everybody that I've talked to that has played the demo is raving about it. I've had people tell me, brother, don't even play the demo because you're gonna be upset that the game isn't out. I don't need the demo to sell me on it, but for those of you that do need a demo to sell you on the game, play through that, and I really do believe from my vantage point that this game has the potential to be what Yakuza 0 kind of was for the Yakuza franchise, where that was the game now people were gravitating to start off their Yakuza experience. And maybe they don't make it all the way through every single Yakuza game, or they're in the midst of working their way through it, and you know, it's gonna be difficult for you to go through Sky, and then you gotta wait for the remakes of the other games to come out as well. Don't get me wrong on that, but to catch up, it'll be an arduous undertaking. However, to at least get started, Trails in the Sky First Chapter is going to offer you that, and I could not be more excited for a potential new audience of Legend of Heroes players to discover it with Trails in the Sky First Chapter. This is what this series has been waiting for such a long time. And the title of this video says, huge things you need to know before you spend your $60. Look, the hardcore Legend of Heroes fans are already buying this game. Y'all already know how we are, but for the newer audience, just know that this is the kickoff to an epic saga. As the game notes, Trails in the Sky First Chapter reimagines the first chapter of a beloved series, infusing it with enhanced visuals and refined gameplay. Join Estelle and Joshua, partners bound by fate, as they unravel dark conspiracies threatening the peace of the liberal kingdom. Flip through the pages of the iconic Trails series to where it all began with Trails in the Sky First Chapter. This stunning remake reimagines the beloved classic with new breathtaking visuals, refined gameplay, and the first unforgettable adventure across liberal Kingdom. Now, it is the first of the Sky Trilogy, so how Legend of Heroes is broken up is that you have the Sky Trilogy, that segues into the Crossbell Duology, and then that gets into the Cold Steel arc, which that has 4 games. Then you have Trails into Reverie, which caps off the kind of first half of the series, and right now, as far as the mainline entries that are coming out, you have the Daybreak games, Daybreak 1 and 2 that have just come out. That kicks off the Calvard arc, and then you also have Trails Beyond the Horizon coming stateside in January. Those are how the games are structured right now, but Trails in the Sky First Chapter is the first game in this entire saga, and by the way, each game can be 70 to 80 hours, even higher than that if you're really looking to do all of the content, but bear in mind, Trails in the Sky First Chapter will lead into the second game, which leads into the third game, and beyond that, there's even more games, as I mentioned, with Crossbell, Cold Steel, Reverie, and then Daybreak and the Calvert arc as well. There's a lot of games to get into, but Trails in the Sky First Chapter will be the one you want to start off with. Join Estelle Bright and her adoptive brother Joshua as they embark on their journey as junior bracers determined to climb the ranks of their renowned peacekeeping guild. What begins as a straightforward mission to prove their worth quickly evolves into a gripping adventure of intrigue and peril as they unravel a conspiracy that threatens the very heart of their homeland. You've got a captivating world. Lose yourself in countless hours of adventure across Liberal as you progress through an elaborate storyline like no other. Every interaction is tailored to your unique progress in the game, from supporting characters all the way to NPCs. And you will have a variety of content to delve into. You'll have your main story content that people will want to focus on, with a variety of difficulty options as well. If you want a harder experience, you'll have that. If you want something easy, you'll have that. That's more so focused to the narrative. That option will be available. You'll have your optional content. If you really want to do everything, it'll be a vast undertaking with a lot of content. And on top of all of that, best of all, you do have modern gameplay mechanics. Experience seamless gameplay with the choice of traditional turn-based combat or an all-new real-time action combat as well to suit your style of adventure. You do have this marriage of turn-based combat. On top of that, you do have real-time action combat. You saw that play out in the Daybreak games, and that worked out incredibly well, and I think the evolution of Trails from a gameplay standpoint has been outstanding. That's why going back and playing the older Trails titles, while the narratives are still great, you do have the issue of the visuals, you do have the issue of the gameplay being dated. Now that you are modernizing this game, I just think it's going to be fantastic for a newer audience to come in, and yes, the hardcore Trails fans, we're gonna go back and play this game as well. But to me, the more exciting thing about all of this is I want to see Trails as a franchise be elevated into the next level, and the improvements, the remake that this game is doing, and all of the improvements that'll be coming with the improvements and progress that has been made in this franchise over the last 2+ decades. You're gonna see it now in the very first game, so that's gonna be the gateway and the bridge for this newer audience to get into the series as well, and it being available readily on modern platforms. I just could not be more happy about where the franchise is at right now. You've also got new voiceovers. Yes, a lot of the older games you'd have to have only the Japanese voice acting, and I know some people are all about that. However, in terms of getting newer people into the game, a lot of people want the English voice acting, the English dub, and that'll be available as well. New voiceovers in English and Japanese. Trails in the Sky characters come to life with brand new voiceovers in English and Japanese, enhanced HD visuals as well. Immerse yourself in the stunning world of Liberal, brought to life with vivid high-definition detail. Experience the story that redefined the JRPG genre and set the Trails series on its legendary path. And at the helm of every Legend of Heroes game, remember that while the gameplay is being improved, while the visuals are great, the storytelling, the narrative, the world building in this franchise is second to none. I truly do believe that, and how they connect all of the games together, it's done so well. And I'm not saying every game is a 10 out of 10, but a lot of the games are pretty damn good, and the overarching narrative has been expertly done. And this game is set around the two main characters, Estelle and Joshua. Estelle, a bright and determined bracer trainee of the guild, a girl from the Liberal Kingdom, training to become a bracer in order to protect the safety of civilians and the peace of cities. A bright, outgoing, and optimistic girl who never gives up no matter the situation. Her sincere nature leads to her trust others easily, and her actions are often impulsive. Trained by her father, a veteran bracer, she possesses considerable combat skills. For the past 5 years, she has been striving to become a senior bracer alongside her adopted younger brother, Joshua. And then you do have Joshua also at the helm of the story, a boy with jet black hair and amber eyes, burdened by an unknown past. A boy taken in by the Bright family 5 years ago with jet black hair and amber eyes. He always appears cool and composed. His hobbies include reading and playing the harmonica. Highly intelligent and level-headed, he often finds himself supporting the impulsive Estelle, keeping her in check. His past prior to his adoption remains a mystery. There are times when he seems lost in thought and has a habit of demeaning himself. And those are the two characters that are at the helm of the story and are the main characters. However, there's a large cast of characters, and that's been one of the biggest factors of Legend of Heroes. It's all of these characters that you'll encounter in this entire saga of games, and so many characters with so much vibrance and depth to how they're designed, and great character designs, of course, but also their backstory and how they connect together. It's quite marvelous in that regard, and the world building is incredible, and you'll have a lot of those characters in this game as well, and seeing their story unravel over the course of the subsequent games, that's gonna be a great adventure for you to go on. On top of that, the battle system will offer you the quick battles where you can normal attack with your weapon of choice, and then you'll have crafts as well. Fill up the charge gauge to unleash powerful crafts. Crafts can be triggered up to 2 times in a row. Crafts are more powerful than normal attacks and can more easily stun enemies. You've got dodge mechanics as well. Dodge incoming attacks with backsteps and rolls, and again, this is all in the real-time combat element. Attacking after dodging will morph into a jump attack. By landing a perfect dodge in line with the enemy's attack, the charge gauge will fill to the max, allowing you to follow up with a counter attack as well. Link attacks consume the Brave gauge to activate Estelle and Joshua's wide range special attack as well. When facing enemies at levels below the player, damage dealt and stun damage increases, and damage dealt is doubled if the enemy is 5 levels or more below the player. Quick battles allow you to easily clean up hordes of monsters, so if you want to quickly go through the game and you're fighting enemies a lot lower level than you, these quick battles are going to be what you want to stick to. Then you do have the command battles as well. During battles, both allies and enemies will receive various bonuses depending on the icon displayed over the AT bar. AT bonuses can be taken away by stunning or defeating enemies, or by hitting them with a brave attack, and AT bonuses can also be taken away by delaying actions or using certain crafts. Crafts are the character's specific skills that consume the craft points, and they may be area attacks or direct attacks or grant various support effects. There are also crafts that increase in power when unleashed from the side or the back. You have arts as well. These are magical abilities utilized consuming energy points. Arts take time to activate but can be extremely powerful. They are especially effective against enemies resistant to physical attacks or with a high dodge rate, or if you attack with an attribute the enemy is weak against. Damage dealt double. Support arts can heal or strengthen allies as well. Then you have brave attacks as well. When the stun gauge reaches 100%, the enemy is stunned and cannot take action for 1 turn. A brave attack will activate when a stun occurs when attacking a stunned enemy. Allies can then either use a follow-up attack, chain, or burst. Other than stuns, there is a 100% chance of a brave attack activating when landing a crucial attack. Follow-up attack, an additional attack from a single party member. 1 bar is added to the brave gauge after the follow-up attack, and then you can chain as well. An area attack in cooperation with a single party member consumes 3 bars of the brave gauge as well. And then burst, an all-out attack from all party members that also removes all debuffs, consumes 5 bars of the brave gauge. And then you've also got overdrive, a tactical orbiment function that can be activated when the target character has an aura around them, grants the user a powerful buff and immunity to debuffs for 2 turns. When activating during overdrive, there's a 100% chance of a brave attack activating, and you'll have various support abilities as well to give you an idea of the depth of combat. And combat, as far as the command battles, they do have a lot of depth in terms of how you customize your characters, what abilities you utilize, the positioning of your characters. There's a lot of depth to it that definitely comes into play in the harder difficulties. If you do want an easier time, again, the easier difficulty options will be available as well. And then you do have the quartz customization. This has been one of the integral factors to the customization and the depth of strategy to the Trails titles. Each character possesses a tactical orbment. By equipping crystal circuits known as quartz, the players can enhance a character's stats and unlock various orbal arts as well. There are 7 elements of quartz. You've got earth, water, fire, wind, time, space, and mirage. When you insert quartz into the tactical orbment, the elemental values of all quartz within each engraved orbment line will be summed up separately. Arts can be used when their elemental value requirements are met. Each art has its own elemental value requirements as well. You can also utilize the auto-equip feature to easily customize your tactical ornament, but if you do want more depth into your customization options and really leave it up to you, you can pick and choose what you want, but that feature is available that automatically equips quartz based on your preference, allowing you to choose between balanced, physical, and speed-based builds. There's a lot of depth to the combat and the customization in the game. But again, how much you want to utilize that will be tied to what difficulty you ultimately do play the game on. That is only a drop in the bucket, and we didn't go too in-depth on the various characters. I just wanted to highlight Estelle and Joshua since they are the main characters of this story, but the other characters have a lot of development, a lot of depth to it, and that's one of the things that Legend of Heroes has done so well. When you do have however many games, it's north of 10 at this point, well over 10, games that are 70, 80 hours long, you've got so many characters. You've got characters that have an incredible amount of depth, and I can't lie to you guys and say that it's a 10 out of 10 narrative development every game across the board. Daybreak 2 just came out earlier this year, and I wasn't as crazy about that game. Still enjoyed it, but Trails in the Sky First Chapter is going to be an outstanding game from the standpoint of we're bringing so many new people into this franchise, and finally they have this game that is modernized, that is a kickoff to this amazing story that we can just finally recommend, because there came a point where I was just sick and tired of going through the discussion of, well, do I recommend Trails in the Sky because it's the first game, but man, mechanically it's so dated, let me just recommend them Daybreak. And that's the way I was going with for the last year and a half or so since Daybreak 1 came out, and prior to that I was recommending people to start with Cold Steel 1 just because I knew for a newer audience that Sky 1 was gonna be so dated. No longer is that gonna be the case. Everybody's gonna play Trails in the Sky First Chapter, and guess what? They pretty much already confirmed that the second game is gonna get remade, the second game hopefully does well, and then the third game is gonna get remade as well. I'm pretty confident they're gonna remake the entire Sky trilogy, but the first game is coming out September the 19th. The second game, hopefully end of 26, maybe 27. I would love to see a consistent release so people can experience this trilogy of games. And then the third game maybe in 2027, as we are gearing up as far as the games, the mainline games that are coming out now, the newer titles, we are getting closer and closer to the end. But they've been saying that for a long time, and we've still probably got quite a few games to go. We'll see when it ultimately wraps up. But Trails in the Sky First Chapter is coming out on September the 19th. Let me also add that this is one of those games that if you're always on the fence about whether or not to get a physical versus digital copy, I feel like having a physical copy of Trails in the Sky First Chapter would go a long way. Your boy actually has a sealed copy of the limited edition of Trails in the Sky, the first game, on PSP, so you know I had to get the Bracer edition. I'm gonna keep that sealed. I'm a fanboy when it comes to this series, and if you want a copy of Trails in the Sky First Chapter, I'll leave a link to Amazon in the description box below. If you buy it from there, we get an affiliate kickback as well. And this is one of those games that I know a lot of you guys love the convenience of having a digital copy of a game, but as far as games that'll hold up in value and potentially even appreciate, generally the Legend of Heroes games have done exactly that, so might be one you want a physical copy of. Again, link in the description box below on that. You can probably tell based on how this video has been structured, based on some of my other preview videos, that this is a lot of me just hyping this franchise up. But you know what? There's a free demo available. Go play that. Again, everybody that's left a comment saying they played the demo or that I've gotten a message from seems to have loved the demo, and then you're gonna play the entirety of the game. You're gonna fall in love with the characters and the world. Then you're gonna get excited for the second game, which I'm sure is gonna get remade. The only thing is I hope they remake the Sky trilogy, and then the Crossbell games could use remakes as well. I know the Crossbell games got ported recently, or they got localized recently, but I think those games could use remakes as well. But that'll do it for me. I'm incredibly excited. $60 across the board for each version of the game, and on Switch 2, if you get a Switch 1 copy of the game, you can actually get an upgrade for 99 cents, I believe it is. So if you want to go that route, that is an option as well. That'll do it for me. Incredibly excited. Go play the demo if you need to be sold on it. Otherwise, this is going to be an incredible JRPG for you to sink your teeth into, and I really hope it does expand the appeal of the franchise. I know that this series is never going to be a Final Fantasy. It's not even going to be a Persona or a Nier, but I think there is another level it can hit, and hopefully with this release, it does hit that other level, and a lot of new people give it a shot. I know there's a lot of big games coming out. I know Yote's coming out. Dying Light the Beast is coming out on the same day. Digimon Pokemon is coming out, but if you're remotely into JRPGs, this is one that should absolutely be on your radar. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.